Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to my PHP Beginner to Developer series. Today we will start writing code in PHP and I will be going over how to use variables, and I will also cover basic data types including booleans, strings, integers, etc. So to begin, I'm going to open up my text editor and start up my local server, which will be MAMP and Visual Studio Code. If you don't know how to get PHP running on your machine, then you can check my most recent video, which will be linked in the description below. Now, to get started, in PHP, whenever developers need to store information somewhere, they use variables. For example, say we have a user on our site and we need to store their name. We would need to declare a variable and put their name in it. Now, how do we do that? Well, in PHP, to declare a variable, we will always use the $sign followed by the name of the variable. So we're going to start it with a $sign and then name of variable. And then what we always do after that is we put an equal sign, because this is declaring that this is equal to whatever is on this side. And we are going to set the name of this variable real quickly to first name. And what are we going to put in that? We're going to name our user, in this case, John. Our user's first name is John. And what you'll see is at the end of the statement, I also added a semicolon. Now what this does is it tells the machine that, hey, this is our line of code right here. We're going to end this line of code, because if we don't put a semicolon at the end of any statement, you'll get errors. And that's what all this red is. It just means our code will literally break when it gets to this point. So we don't want that. We put a semicolon. It's good practice also for other languages if you ever go onto JavaScript, C, anything like that. So now that we have our variable set to John, we are also going to give him a name or an age, and that age is going to be, let's say 25 again. So we're going to do age equals and 25. Now you'll see here, I did not put this in quotation marks. And the reason I didn't do that is because this is a string. It's also colored differently, but this is a string. All that means is this is a string of characters. It could be a name, it could have some numbers, it can have some weird funky symbols. Doesn't matter, it is a string of characters that the computer will output as a string of characters. Here though, with age, we have a number. What we're doing here is we are saying age is equal to a literal integer. Again, we could put a string of 25, but when the computer actually reads it, it will not be 25. Just because it looks like it's 25, it is not 25 unless it is in this format with no quotation marks. This is how you create an integer. And this is another data type, unlike string. Now, we're going to create our third data type we're going to go over, and that is a boolean. Now, a boolean is either false or true. It cannot be anything else. So when we're going to have a boolean, we're going to say is male. And this is going to mean our user right here, John, is male. And we're going to set that to true, because in this case, I'm going to say John is a male. Again, it's a hypothetical user, but to demonstrate this and illustrate this, he's a male. Now, we have all this data. We have a name, we have an age, we have his gender. Now, what do we do with that? We want to output this to the browser, let's say, but we don't want to create some messy little string when we output it. So what we're going to do is we're going to create one variable with our message, and we're going to output this to the browser for any user who clicks on this file site link to see. So what we're going to do is we're going to say message. Again, we're declaring a variable called message. And we're going to set this to a string, which is going to include all of this data. So we're going to say our first name, so first name, and then we're going to hit space. And then we're going to say first name, John, so this is basically John right here, is age years old. And this is going to be our message. Now, to you, you may be like, what is first name is age years old? Well, it's simple. First name right here is referring to this variable named first name. And $age is referring to the age we set. Now, if this said Jane, In 27, this would be Jane is 27 years old. Whatever these variables are gets automatically placed into here. And since this is further down the page, if these variables change before it gets to here somehow, it'll reflect that in the code. So now we have this message, but we can't really do anything with it yet. I mean, if we refresh the page, which I opened up our lesson2.php in the browser using MAMP, you don't see anything, but we want to display this message. So how do we do that? Well, in PHP, there's a very handy tool for just the case. It's called echo. Now, this is a function. And again, functions, I haven't gone over, considering this is the first video, but functions are basically built in with this, with PHP. Echo is a built-in function, and it reads output one or more strings, and this basically just goes to the browser. This is a function. You don't have to worry about the syntax, the parentheses, or anything. We'll go over that in the next video, actually. But for now, we just want to output this message to the browser. So if we do that, we save this page, and we refresh our browser, you will see that it'll say John is 25 years old, which is exactly what it should say. John, which is first name, is age 25 years old. So today we learned how to declare variables, and we learned the proper syntax of that, which is $ followed by the variable name, equal to declare it to whatever we put. It could be a string, an integer, or a boolean. And then we always end our statement, which these are all statements right here, with a semicolon to let the code know that that is the end of the statement. We also learned how to use a very handy function for debugging and other things called echo, which displays our message that we created to the user. Now, in the next video, I'm going to go way more in depth into functions, methods, and how to use them in PHP and why you would use them. Why would you need to use functions and methods? Until then, if you have any questions about how something was done, don't be afraid to message me or leave your question in the comment section below. I'm also going to leave a challenge that you can complete, and at the beginning of the next video, I will show you how to solve it. I'm going to try to do these for most of the videos in this series, but some of the times I won't be able to. But for now, we're going to start strong. We're going to create a challenge. I'm going to show you what I want you guys to output to the browser. And by output, I mean just display this in your own browser. And this is going to be a great way to practice what we learn in every video, because it's very important that you don't just copy the code. Just try writing it yourself and just mess around. Just try naming other things. Try putting them all together and concatenating them. And if you don't know what that means, look it up, because a great way to learn is look up what is concatenation in PHP. But now we're getting carried away. So I'm going to show you what I want your challenge to be, and then we'll end the video. So the challenge is, I want you to display a message similar to this. You are going to create a user, a hypothetical user of your own. You're going to display their name. So I'm going to call mine Jane Doe. And then I want you to create an age. I'm going to say she's 45 years old. And her. And then I want you to create a variable called favorite food, or whatever you want. And you're going to display that. And I'm going to say Jane Doe's favorite food is pizza, because who doesn't like pizza? Okay. So I want you to create a variable called first name, last name, age, and favorite food. And I want you to put all of those messages so it reads just like this, but in the browser. Well, good luck, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Again, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. My name's Tyler, and I'll talk to you later.